This episode of The Young Turks is brought to you by GoToMeeting, online meetings made easy. Get a free trial at GoToMeeting.com, click on the Try It Free button, and enter the promo code TURKS. The Justice Department is demanding that the largest tobacco companies fund and release their own ads that indicate that they lied to the public about the safety of cigarettes. This is an incredible story because I really didn't expect it. Basically, there was a 12-year-long lawsuit, and the Justice Department has been trying to get the tobacco companies to admit all the things that they lied about. So the outcome is that the Justice Department now wants the tobacco companies to release 14 statements, basically reversing their lies and telling the truth. I want to read some of the statements to you guys, and then Cenk, tell me what you think. So one of the statements that the tobacco companies are supposed to release is a federal court is requiring tobacco companies to tell the truth about cigarette smoking. Here's the truth. Smoking kills 1,200 Americans every day.
First of all, that's an amazing stat, right? 1,200 people every single day. It's stunning. Look, it's interesting because this is how I view this story. It's amazing what happens to a company once they lose political power. For so long, the tobacco company had enormous political power, not just because of campaign contributions, but because a lot of the southern states that grew tobacco thought it affected their local economies, et cetera, et cetera. And so they suppressed all this information and they basically helped the tobacco companies cover up. But at some point, that turned and it became politically dangerous to be on the side of the tobacco companies because everybody became aware of how much they lie and how many people they kill, et cetera. And then they lost all their political power. And so now they're getting crushed, right? And it's in some ways, I guess, hopeful that, that you can educate the public enough that it affects eventually our politicians and our laws. So maybe one day this will happen to the oil companies too.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that's the thing that surprised me the most about it, because this isn't some activist group suing the tobacco companies. It's the Justice Department basically holding tobacco companies accountable. So I was like, that's surprising. Why would they do that, considering the fact that the tobacco companies were so huge? And you're right, it's because they lost political power. And through education, through educating people, they were, they fell victim of losing their political power. And I love that. I think that that's great. And, that could happen with oil companies, which I think is, a hopeful thought. I think that it's something that could happen. So let me give you a couple of, go ahead, Cenk.
Yeah, just real quick. It's something that's really sped up over time, too. In the last decade, John Boehner was caught giving out tobacco checks on the floor of the House. Like he was going around before an important vote on tobacco, handing out checks from the lobby to other Republicans saying, hey, here's your campaign check. Make sure you vote the right way. Mm-hmm. And he got busted for that, and it was an embarrassment for him. But, he was that brazen about it until, fairly recently. But now, if you're seen as on the side of tobacco, it's really hard to defend. So even Republicans are a little gun-shy about it. And so that's why once the Republicans stopped defending tobacco in public, then it became obvious, because then you see the real facts without the propaganda getting in the way.
Did Boehner think that he wouldn't get caught?
Yeah, because
you just go around handing out checks right before they do the vote? It's okay?
Yeah, but he probably thought that because he probably did it a million times and didn't get caught. It's probably surprising he got caught in that one time he did it.
Yeah, that's the number one problem with politics, okay? That's the number one problem. It's all about money. It's all about who's funding your campaign. It's never about the issues. It's never about what you ran your campaign on. What you just told me right now freaking infuriates me, okay? It pisses me off so much. Because the fact that he was brazen, you're right. It shows you that he's probably done it a million other times and it was completely acceptable. Drives me crazy.
Yeah, and look, when you go to when you see politicians or other people in power and the crazy things they do, whether it's about sex or lying or whatever it is, you think how in the world did they think they were going to get away with that? And the answer is always because they got away with it 100 times before, and so they thought they were going to keep getting away with it. So the same thing with John Boehner and the tobacco checks. He must have passed out tobacco checks, oil checks, etc., a million times over. And he was probably shocked he got caught that time or that anybody cared.
God, it's infuriating. All right.
By
Well,
the way, one more thing on that. When's the last time anybody gave a speech on the floor of the House or the Senate and they actually changed someone else's mind in the House or the Senate? I don't know, 1894? Yeah, I don't even know if it happened back then. But all of these debates in the House and the Senate, they're all nonsense. Nobody ever actually cares about the debate, listens to the debate, ever change their mind because of the debate. It's all show and theater. They all vote based on the money and the politics. None of them vote on the actual ideas.
what about Weiner's speech on the 9/11 first responders? Do you think that changed anyone's mind?
No, if anything, the only good it could do is if it creates enough political pressure on the other side that they might say, damn it, I didn't want to, but this Weiner guy's drawing a lot of attention to the 9/11 responders, so I'll change. But even then, that's not how that particular bill went down. The reason that they swung on that is not because of Weiner's speech, which they would have easily ignored. It was because Jon Stewart did a whole national show on it, and that captured so much attention. That's what changed the Republicans on that bill.
Right. All right. Well, when it comes to this case involving the tobacco companies, Philip Morris plans on appealing it. We'll see how that goes. But some of the statements that the Justice Department wants the tobacco companies to release are freaking awesome. Just one last thing on this. One of the statements has to specify how the companies lied about light and low tar cigarettes. Basically, we all know that those cigarettes are BS. They're no more healthier than you they're no healthier for you than any other type of cigarette. And the tobacco companies will have to admit that because of this. So I love it. I'm glad that this is happening. So a little bit of good news.
Let me add one quick thing to this. You know why I stopped drinking Diet Coke? Well, two reasons. One, there was significant reports about how it actually makes you hungrier and might actually add weight to you rather than reduce weight because of the chemical reaction that it causes in your body. The second reason is the chemical inside Diet Coke, aspartame, was cleared by the FDA apparently under somewhat interesting circumstances when the guy who was in charge of that company that sold aspartame to Diet Coke was a guy by the name of Don Rumsfeld. Yes, that same Donald Rumsfeld, okay? Once I read that, I was like, oh, God knows what's in it. I'm outie. I'm gone. So, look, tobacco is the tip of the iceberg. And all these companies are incredibly powerful. And what are they putting in our drinks? What are they putting, in the air, in the water, whether it's pollution in the oil companies, coal companies, etc.? God help us all. We don't really know. And these days, everybody's in different offices in different cities. The one way you can all get together is GoToMeeting.com. You're all online at the same time.
Right, and it's super easy. All you need is a computer, internet connection, 2 minutes, boom, you're set up.
You can share documents. A guy puts up a document in Miami, the other one sees it in San Francisco. You can, in fact, amend it. You can do sales presentations, very convenient.
Get a free trial at GoToMeeting.com, click on the Try It Free button, and enter the promo code Turks.
Go.